I'm going to start this session with a real life case scenario where I received an application request from a truck driver that had bankruptcy in the past, got approved for $250,000 to purchase 2 trucks and a $50,000 of a line of credit. How did that happen? I mean, he had bankruptcy, right? He was not supposed to get money. And of course, the initial knee-jerk reaction from any conventional underwriter would be to turn him away. Why? Because he has proved that he's not able to take on debt and pay it back. On paper, that's what it looks like. And that's why the initial decision was to deny his loan request. I'm sure you've heard about the SBA and a program that the SBA has, right? I mean, most people think of the SBA as a organization that is under the U.S. government that will give businesses money for startup, expansion, or whatever the case, right? But that's not really what the SBA does. The SBA is an organization that allows lenders to fund businesses that they wouldn't fund otherwise. Case in point, in this scenario, the guy had a bankruptcy. So there was some inherent risk in funding a business and the owner that has filed bankruptcy, 5 or 7, 10 years ago, within the same industry. But some can make the argument that this person kind of stuck with the business, was able to pay back or discharge his bankruptcy, rebuild his credit, buy another truck, cash, and has been sustaining himself after the incident. But again, the knee-jerk reaction for these kind of requests is absolute denial, because you would think that it would be difficult to lend to a business, again, that has proven that they're not able to take on debt. So as we started to unravel the story, we later discovered that the business owner filed bankruptcy because the truck wasn't operating at some point. And he trusted a local mechanic to do the job, paid the money up front, and the mechanic was not able to get the job done. That put him out of business, and that was the story. So we relied on the SBA to get him the loan that he needed for the newer request, because now we started to think that maybe he's learned a thing or two on how to run a trucking business. Maybe he's learned a thing or two on who to trust as a mechanic. That sounds reasonable to me, but that's when the SBA came into play. We were able to get the loan approved using a 75% guarantee from the SBA, which basically means that if this business was to go take the money from the bank and not pay the loan for any reason, the SBA would give us a 75% guarantee, meaning that after we have liquidated all of his stuff and his trucks and all the things that we put as a collateral to fund the business, the SBA will be able to give us 75% of the amount of money that we are owed. So that limits the risk for the bank. You see how the SBA works now? The SBA works in a way where they give the lenders guarantees to get the job done, to get the business funding. Had it not been for the SBA, we wouldn't fund this deal. And had it not been for the funding of this deal, this guy he wouldn't be able to buy 2 additional trucks, hiring additional employees, drivers, getting solid contracts with the government, ironic enough, to help them scale at 126% in gross revenue 8 months post-funding. That's a lot. That's a lot. In 2020, by the end of 2024, the business is projected to make about $500,000. And had it not been for the SBA, or had it not been for the other organizations that help him put the paperwork together, the plan together, the projections together, and for the bank/credit union that took, lender, that took a chance on him again, it would have been a lost cause. The guy could have just stagnated with 1 truck, just doing his best, but it would have been, he wouldn't have the story that he has now. So normally people are worried about getting business funding, business lending, they're apprehensive about taking money, debt. You have to have your whys, and you have to be strategic enough to make decisions that are smart for your business to get these deals done. The most frequently asked dollar amount for a small business loan is $100,000. And when I hear that, I always think if the business owner has really thought out why they need the funding. And then I ask a follow-up question and say, why do you need 100,000 again? It normally just breaks down onto operational cost, and it normally goes like this: 25,000 for operational costs, 25,000 for equipment, 25,000 for employees, and 25,000 to pay vendors, or whatever the case may be. That's when I know that the business owner is not really prepared to get the amount of money that they're asking for, because it's so rare that you would ask for $100,000, and it is equally divided in 4 ways in these 4 categories to help you excel your business. That means you haven't really done your projections. And the point of this discussion is that the SBA will be able to help you get deals done, but how can you get the SBA's backing to get loans? You need to do your homework. And fortunately for people, there are organizations that will provide the information and the resources that are needed to help get these deals done. One organization is score.org, SCORE.org. They have tons of webinars, online classes, and most of them are free to help you establish your business and put yourself in a position where you can actually get the funding that you need. Another organization that I use heavily is the SBDC. That's a Small Business Development Center. They have locations in Missouri and Kansas. I would highly recommend for people to use these services that are basically almost free, paid by your tax dollars, to help you get deals done. What would it mean if you were to get $100,000 in your business in 2 months? What would that mean? Where would you see yourself deploying those resources? What kind of issues are you currently facing that these resources would help you eliminate? These things need to be thought through. They need to be documented on paper. We determine the strength of a business on the paper that we see, on the documents that we see, on the financials that we see. Normally, those are tax returns, profit and loss statements, balance sheet, and I think every business owner needs to understand what those mean and how they impact a business. And if you are one of those that don't really have the time to really get into your business's financials, at least hire a bookkeeper that can help you stay on track. Business is tough. I've seen grown men cry in business, regardless of the size and regardless of the industry. And most of the success stories that I know are the ones that failed, even some of them tainted with prior bankruptcies. But I think it does teach you a lot about who you are as a person. It's exciting to think about how your business would allow you to quit your job or something, right? Just have extra cash. But it's never easy. It never was. From the jump, you have to give yourself the best chances of succeeding in business from the jump. Another most commonly asked question is, how long does it take to get approved for a business loan? That approval time really varies. I mean, you can consider a business credit card a small business loan, right? That can go towards operational costs and expenses. That can get done in a matter of weeks, if not just instantaneously by submitting an application. But if it is a termed out loan, especially if it involves real estate or if it is mergers and acquisitions, that takes time. And some of the deals that I've gotten closed and the most satisfying are the ones that took some time, really tested the patience of all parties involved. But if you are asking me to put a time frame on it, I would say it would take about 3 months on average. What? That's long, right? Yeah. Most take longer. And it is typically because there is something lacking from the business owner's end that we need to uncover or identify or get to the bottom of. If we have everything that we need from the jump, we wouldn't be taking too much time to get a deal done. Another commonly asked question is, how does my credit score affect my loan application? So, sure, there is a threshold normally that you would want to be over on a credit score scale. But I would argue that that is not the most important item that is considered to get a small business loan deal done. I would say, if you have poor credit, you're done. Sure. There's just no way to fund a deal if you have a poor credit. And I sometimes have conversations with small businesses. Maybe they're just getting started and they're getting a wave of this idea of having a business credit. So if you have a business credit, maybe you're not expected to somehow show your personal credit to get these deals done. And you're often asking questions regarding business, personal credit, and then you'd find the business owner start to get a bit irritated, or you're asking me about my personal credit, and isn't this a business loan? I'm trying to establish business credit. Can you help me establish business credit? And some of them offer thousands of dollars to put down to secure a business loan so that they can establish business credit. And my argument to that, and mostly I react by saying, why not use the money that you're intending to put down for a secured business loan to fix your personal credit? How long would it take to fix your personal credit? And I understand personal credit with it really varies, and really, the challenges there are variable. But nonetheless, if you are trying to bypass your messed up credit by showing business credit or establishing business credit to be able to get a larger loan, I think you're fooling yourself. And poor credit in business lending is indicative of your personal finances. And one of the things that we require to, I would say 99.99% cases, or maybe I'd say 95% cases, is we need personal guarantee. That means you as the business owner need to guarantee a loan. We need to take a look at your assets, liabilities, and most certainly personal credit. So get your personal credit straight before asking about business loans. That would be the majority of the conversations that I have. It's exciting to talk about your business potential and what you have in mind for the business and how this money is going to help you get the business going or get the business started, expanded, or whatever the case may be. But once we start to uncover your personal credit, that's when we get to see who you are as a business owner. Can I get a business loan if my business is new? Yes. New restaurants sometimes get money funded by lenders for their new venture, and I've seen that to be the case. But it requires a lot of work, and most of the time we're going to use the SBA, the Small Business Administration, to get you the loan that you need if it is a startup business, because it's just the risk is there. The risk is too high for a lender to put its money and bet on you, hoping that you'll be able to figure it out and understand the business and be cash flow positive right from the jump so that you can pay back the money. So, yep, I've seen cases where the SBA has been involved, and normally if you are, let's say, like the startup businesses that we are very interested in funding would be businesses or business owners that have experience in running the business that they're trying to start. For example, real estate. If you are in real estate, and if you've owned a home in the past, or if you've been a real estate manager, portfolio manager, then it would be easier for a lender to be okay with helping you get the business loan to purchase real estate. The risk is low there because you have experience in how to run that business. Let's say you've worked for a restaurant for 5 years, you've been a full-time employee, and you have a little bit of savings from those 5 years, and you want to deploy those funds in helping you buy an existing restaurant, and you're going to be the new manager now. Yeah, that's one way to get a deal done, because you have the experience. But let's say you are a restaurant employee, and all of a sudden you hear about this fantastic e-commerce business, and it requires $100,000 to get it up and running, get it funded, and you ask for money. At that point, we're going to say, no, thank you. And I'm talking about traditional business lending. I know there are a lot of lenders out there that feel comfortable getting deals done. I'm sure heavily relying on you as the business owner. But most likely, if you're asking for traditional loans, which I think are the better I would say even best kind of loans, because interest rates are lower, terms are very flexible. But yeah, as a startup, it would be difficult for you to get funding from a traditional lending institution. Another third case scenario that I can think of is getting the business deal done by hiring key employees. Key employees meaning, let's say again, same exact scenario, you've been working in a restaurant and you are interested in using your funds or earnings from the restaurant for the past 5 years. You've saved up about $20,000-$30,000, and now you're interested in funding this $100,000 of a new venture in the e-commerce space, and you decided to hire a person that has done e-commerce successfully, let's say for the past 10 years. Then that kind of makes sense, because they're going to be the person that you're hiring will be key employee. And guess what the catch is? They're going to have to guarantee the loan too. It is an interesting business. Even the lending business in general. It is a very, very interesting business. Can I refinance an existing business loan? Yes. Yes, you can. But it normally has to make sense, right? If you're refinancing an existing loan, that means you're trying to cut down on interest or monthly payments, extend your term, or you've reached your agreed upon term. Some of them are 3 to 5 years. Some of them 7, 10, but normally you would find business loans to be termed out for 3 to 5. So if you're thinking, oh God, if I'm getting $100,000 and if they're terming that loan amount out for 3 to 5 years, I'm making a significant amount of payment on those loans. No, we have a way of amortizing it to 20 to 25 years where the monthly payments kind of make sense. So imagine this. Your monthly payments are calculated and divided in a way where you're making 25 for 25 years. However, the business will mature in 3 to 5 years. So $100,000 monthly payment, interest and principal divided by 25 years, you're making a monthly payment, but in 3 to 5 years, your business loan will mature, meaning that we're gonna have to take a look at your finances all over again. We're gonna have to take a look at your business tax returns for the past couple of years, personal credit. So yes, you can refinance an existing debt. Success stories always motivate fellow business owners in new industries. Most business owners, my advice to you would be get the proper and right resources in place that are to some extent invested in your business to help you succeed, and take their advice and implement the actions necessary to get there.